Good afternoon. I am so excited to be with many of you today. Thank you so much for taking the time to join our call. This is a new series that we just started recently because we've gotten so many calls from professional women that are interested in advancing their career. Some of them have read my first book or have looked through or even read my second book, Accelerate Your Impact, and now are looking to put those strategies into play with a little help from their friends. And this online programming is really to give women a place to show up, ask questions, and work with other women to facilitate their professional goals. So each week I'm offering content for 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to shut off the recorder and let women speak freely about the professional goals they have, even addressing questions, concerns, and obstacles. So hopefully you'll consider joining us in future weeks. Please know there's just 20 seats, so you have to register early. And so the essence of today's session is when you have some ideas of where you want to have more influence and impact, many women that I talk to often create their own barriers and their own discussions in their head on how are they going to make that happen or not make that happen, and do they really need to make that happen. And one of the studies that I wanted to focus on today is by Sylvia Ann Hewlett and Melinda Marshall. What women want 5 things. And I think this is really important because I think so many women that I talk to often don't share why they want to have more influence and impact. But studies have shown that as women take on more responsibility and even move up the org chart, which is not always what everybody wants to do, but when you do get additional responsibility and sometimes those titles, you are actually able to meet the 5 things that women want in their career. And so I'm just going to go down this list for a second to talk a little bit about each one of these. So the ability to flourish is really important. It gives women the ability to sort of stretch in new directions, try new things out, expand their network. It also gives women the ability to excel. Having more projects that give you access to higher levels and that create more visibility into what is you are able to accomplish is really important, and actually is very important as you move through your career. And then having meaning and purpose. I think for women this is so much more important than men, that they can align meaning and purpose to their work. There are a few reasons why women stay in an organization, and one of the reasons is they can actually align what they're doing each day to something bigger than themselves. And then finally, they can empower themselves and empower others. Now, not all of these necessarily have to be tied to a title, but many of them, as you move through your career and have more strategic positions, it's often a reality that these increase as you move through your career, especially as some of us move through the org chart. Now, that's not to say that people can't have this type of influence and impact when they are at an entry-level position or even an individual contributor level. But sometimes it's more difficult because it's difficult to vie for projects and get the right sponsors. So as you're thinking about where you want to have more influence and impact, it's very important to think about why do you want to have influence and impact, and when you do get to there, thinking about how you're going to leverage those new opportunities to really foster the type of work you're looking to jump into, and how you may be able to empower yourselves and the other people around you along the way. So I'm looking forward to discussing some of these 5 value points in our open discussion. As I mentioned before, it's really important to me to create some context for the conversation, and then I will shut off the recorder and we will open it up to a discussion for women to talk about things they want to do in their career, maybe some of the obstacles or opportunities that are in front of them. So as you think about where you want to have more influence and impact, recognize that it's not always going to be a straight shot. There are many ways to look at your career, and one of the things I like to think about when I think of my career is more like a climbing wall. Because some of the steps along the way are very difficult to get to, that represent sort of the smaller knobs, And some of the ones that might be easier are the larger knobs. And then the placement, are they really close to the work you're already doing, or do you have to stretch in new positions to get there? So I look forward to talking to some of the folks that are on the line today about what they may want in their career. And I look forward to continuing these discussions for weeks to come. So hopefully you'll register with the link below for future weeks to join us. And I really look forward to getting to know most of you. So with that, I'm going to shut off the recording and we're going to move to an open discussion for the next few minutes. So thank you again for joining us.